Hey guys, this is Synx again. I'm back from holiday break. Hope you all had a good holiday. I also had to study and take my exam, so I've been away with these tutorials for a bit. But I'm glad to be back. Hopefully I'll start getting these out more often. This is your fifth tutorial, I believe, for Java coding, and today I'm going to be going over basic math, which is pretty much almost universal in all languages that I've seen personally, but I'm just going to do it anyway, just so someone who's never programmed before can get a feel for what it's like. I've already created my class that I'm going to be using here, called Basic Math, and I'm going to be showing you how to use it with your own defined variables and with variables that you can use for a user to set the value of. So to do this, if you remember from the last tutorial, I'm going to import the scanner to allow us to get information from the user. And I'm just going to leave it there, do nothing else with that. And put in my main method, public static void main, and more brackets. Okay, so I'm just going to set up two quick variables right now called x and y. I'll just make them integers for now, since we're just going to be doing addition, subtraction real quick. So I'll have integer x equals, let's say 5, and integer y equals 3. Okay, first I'm going to be doing addition, which is very easy. You can either do it this way, where you just make another or a third variable that the operation is going to equal, and just call it integer sum or something like that. I'll show you it this way first, and then you can just do the value of sum, your variable sum, is going to equal the value stored in the variable x plus the value stored in y, semicolon. And another way you can do this is if you just don't want to initiate a new variable, or if you want to make it in an instance variable, which you don't have to worry about right now, that's more complex. You can just define it right on the spot and say int sum equals the value of x plus y. And I'm just going to print this out real quick so you can see it. If you remember, it's system.out.print or print line, but I'm just going to do print for now. And our only argument is going to be sum. So we're going to print out the new value of the integer variable sum. And I'm going to run this real quick. And if you see here at the bottom, it says 8, which is correct, because if you see, we added x and y, and 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. So I'm going to set this camera back up real quick, and I'm going to change this to subtraction. It's the same thing, just replace the plus with a minus. Run it again, and you'll see this time we get 2 down here, as you would expect. Multiplication. It's not an x like non-programmers may think from math class. Instead, you use an asterisk, which can be either found as the secondary function on your 8 key along the top row of your keyboard, or just the asterisk on your number pad, and that's for multiplication. So if I run this, we see 5 times 3 is equal to 8, or is equal to 15, sorry. And that was stored in the same variable. I'm just changing the operation. You can name the variable whatever you want. Division is the slash, which is the primary on your question mark key, or just next to the asterisk on your number pad. But for division, since these aren't numbers that are going to divide evenly, if you remember, we're going to need a type of variable that allows for decimals. So I'm going to change these 3 variables to type double to allow for decimals. There's that, and we're going to print out sum, and you see we get some crazy number for dividing 5 by 3, so I'll just change it to numbers that'll divide evenly, like 6 and 3. And we get 2.0. And we get that extra 0.0 because it's a double and it has to have a decimal place, no matter, even if it's a even number or not. The final operation I'm going to be going over today is the remainder or modulus. And modulus is used with the parentheses, or not the parentheses, excuse me, the percent sign, which is the secondary for the 5 key above your keypad. Modulus is essentially, the best way to explain it is the remainder between the two numbers. So if I run this right now, it'll take the remainder from x and y, which is going to be 0, as shown here at the bottom. But say I have, let's do 8 and 3, the remainder between 8 and 3, the closest you can get to 8 dividing by, or multiplying by 3, excuse me, is 6. That'll go in evenly, and this is the best way to explain it. This has been how I was taught, and it makes a lot of sense. So the closest you can get dividing and multiplying evenly with 3 is 6, and the amount of numbers left between that one value and the closest you can get is what your remainder is going to be, if you don't know what a remainder is. And in this case it should be 2, which it is, because you can multiply 3 by 2, get 6, and then between 6 and 8 the remainder is 2. If that doesn't make any sense, then just comment in on the video and I'll try and explain it a bit more, but that's the easiest way I can think of explaining it. Now we're going to be using this scanner function, or package, I guess you can say, to allow for the user to define the variables that they want. So let's do integer values again. Let's do x, just declare a bunch of them, x, y, and z. And I'll have z be the answer, what the operation between x and y is. If you remember getting the user input, I'm going to do sorry about that, I'm back at a phone call. So we've declared 3 variables that we're going to be using, x, y, z, all type integer. But first we have to create a new scanner object, so I'm going to do scanner reader equals new scanner system in. And if you're completely lost on what I'm doing, go back and watch, I'm pretty sure it was the 4th tutorial about getting and using user input in a program, and you'll understand this a lot more. So I'm just going to set up a little question that we can prompt the user to use. So I'll just type in what is the first number space. Whoops. And at the bottom here I'll have x is equal to reader.nextInt. And again, if you watch the user input tutorial, you should understand this. If not, then comment below or go back and watch it for a refresher. So now what this is going to do is ask the user what the first number is going to be, and then the user is going to type something in, hit enter, and that value is going to be stored in the variable x, which is just defined as this piece right here is just saying that x is going to be equal to whatever the scanner picks up from what the user types in. And I'll do the same thing over here. What is the second number? And I'll have y this time is equal to reader.nextInt. Okay, now that'll get the information from the user and assigning it to variable y. Now I'm going to just pick a random operation that we've just gone over and have z equal to x. I'll do times y. So now this variable declared up here, z, is now equal to whatever the user enters in as the value of x times what they enter in as the value of y. And I'm just going to print that out so you can see it. And printing the value of variable z. and I'll run it. Now if you see down here, it's asking me what the first number is. I'll put 5. Second number, I'll do 3, enter, and it says 15. So it took what I said I want the first number to be, being x, which I put in 5. Same thing for y, I put in 3, and it's going to multiply those two numbers and assign that value as a value of z, and then I just printed out the value of c. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you understand this. The next one will be more complex math using the actual math class and math functions. Again, if you don't understand something, comment in the box below and I will get to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next tutorial.